Yeah, I felt that we created enough chances for it to be at least two. But I think that today's a game where I don't think it was our best performance by a long stretch. But I think that we showed some grit and character, which we'd asked for off the players all week. So I think that was in abundance. Having a clean sheet is great, and obviously getting a second goal, which has been sort of our roadblock, was great. And I think even more sweeter with who scored, because coming back from an injury like Max had, it's been a tough road for her, and I think it was a really good opportunity that she got, and just really pleased for her that she was able to finish it.
Can scoring that second one kind of just ease the mentality of the team a little bit, just because it's been kind of a weird struggle to get the first one so far, the second one so far?
Yeah, potentially. I think that scoring so late was actually a nice thing, because it meant that we could keep pushing the players to make sure they didn't drop their standards. I think, obviously, I've said this a lot, that 2 goals make it a little bit more comfortable, but I think that it still meant that we wanted to keep our standards high, because we wanted to keep the clean sheet. And I felt we did that. I felt post the goal, the second goal, we were really diligent in, first and second balls. And we knew that Orlando were going to come here and sort of play relatively directly, and put balls in the box, try and transition to get at us quickly in terms of turning us. So we'd prepared for that, and I think in the first half we didn't do a great job of it, but I think in the second half we did. But the second goal eases that a little bit, but we're very proud of clean sheets, and once we scored the second, it was all about keeping that clean sheet.
Do you have an update on Vero's injury, and also how do you think Timrak did coming in mid-game?
Vero, no. It's been something that's been bothering her for a couple of weeks now, and we've been managing it, and I think we got it early enough that hopefully it won't be long-term, but no timeline as of now. And I thought Erica was great. I actually thought she did really, really well. And Erica's a funny player. You sort of know in the first 5 minutes of her being on the field what mood she's in. And when she's dynamic and runs with the ball and gets at the opposition, it's going to be a good Erica Timrak day. And I think she did that really early on when she came on, and was a real difference maker in the second half.
Coach, those last 5 or 10 minutes, Orlando really, they brought numbers forward, and they really tried to equalize. How did you guys withstand that?
Just being all the things that we do in training, and look back to last week with North Carolina. That's what we had to deal with there. I thought Sam and Gabby were excellent in dealing with that, and I thought Becca and Bo were really good in the second half. As a fullback, they often want to go forward, but I felt that in this game, the way Orlando were transitioning, that they had to be a little bit mindful of that, and I felt in the second half they did a much better job of that, and I think Lowe in front of them was excellent.
Barney came up big several times during this game. Is there anything can be said about her that hasn't already been said?
Not really. I think that she reads the game well. I thought she did really well in the first half. A lot of the balls that came over the top, often she wouldn't come forward, and she did, which calmed us a little bit, I think. And then, she's one of the best shot stoppers the game's ever had. And she showed it again tonight. I think Cops did well too, their goalkeeper. Actually made some good saves.
What did you say? Way back when, but Gabby, what did you see? It was a tryout, right? That
she came to try out, yeah.
What did you see from her in that beginning that made you think, hey, she can maybe have a place on this team and contribute now at this point?
I think there was a ball in the second half where she was under pressure and she played a diagonal ball into someone in midfield on the opposite side. That's what we saw. Someone who is a centre-back who can pass, because we need that in our team. I think all of our centre-backs are good footballers, and Gabby is the same, in that term. I think that the journey that she's on, and has been on since pre-season, has been learning off Becky, Rach, Jono, in terms of what you've got to be good at defensively in this league. But I think the one thing that they've known from day one about her, and we've all known about her, is how good she is on the ball. And we've just had to help her and develop her and coach her, and players help her, just in terms of how diligent you've got to be defensively, because, you know, like you saw today, the games can turn on a head. And I thought that she did really well. I thought last week she did great, and I think this week she did great.
You've seen a lot of players come back from injury.
Yeah.
A-Rod obviously last year, and now Max gets that first goal after her long layoff. Is it a little extra special or extra emotional or that kind of thing, seeing that first goal from a player who, I mean, you traded for her last year, and so you kind of saw that sort of long road back?
Yeah, and it's so interesting, and Mac might kill me for saying this story, but I think last week in Carolina was a real difficult week for her, going back to where she'd been traded from, honestly. And, you know, me and her had a really good conversation at the end of the game of just trust the process, trust the journey. We traded you for a reason. We know we're going to need you. We know how important you're going to be, and your time will come, you know. And that's, you know, I think you saw the elation in her when she scored. I think that last week was a big turning point for her. Mentally, and I think she went out on the field today and just put absolutely everything out there and got a just reward. You know, anything that you saw from the players' reaction as well, how happy they were for her too.
Coach, I think this is the second game in a row that Mallory has come on.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think she's here to fill Taylor's role. What have you seen from her so far, and how do you think that she's integrating with what you like to do, culture, you know, style of play, all that kind of stuff?
Great. I think she's probably more Britt Ratcliffe than she is Taylor, but yes. You know, we definitely decided to make a move because of the injuries to Britt and Taylor. And Mal has been excellent, you know, and I had conversations with Mark Parsons prior to picking her up off waivers, and he was so complimentary of her as a person. And was like, she'll be great for your team, and she's definitely been that. And I think the one thing that you know off Mal and Mac, and it's probably why we made the changes that we did, that their work ethic defensively is as good as it is when they go forward. And I think in games that are 1-0 and it's getting late and the game's getting stretched, bringing people on who can provide that is really important. And then I think both of them showed that they also can be a threat in different ways. Going forward, Mal is super quick, strong. Max, strong and powerful, and obviously can finish. So I think that for Mal, she's fitted in seamlessly, honestly, and works hard every single day in training. She's a fantastic teammate and a really easy person to coach, honestly. It's been a seamless transition to bring her into this group.